Phew. What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope you all are having a great hump day. Tomorrow is already week number 10. I can't believe it. It's week number 10 of the NFL season. Holy shit, half of the season, more than half of the season is gone now. So, the Cowboys, I'm getting to the point where it just doesn't matter. Um, it doesn't matter what the Cowboys do. They're going to get shit for it. It just does. Everybody knows that the Cowboys move the needle. Instantly, when the Cowboys made the trade, they gave it an F. And that's fine. That's fine. Quinion Williams is one of the best run-stopping defensive tackles. I believe he has a 90-something, a 90.2 run-stopping grade. And he's young. He can literally play without getting a new contract. I think 36 games before he's 30 for the Dallas Cowboys. I had something I did want to do today, but I didn't have time to. Running around doing a bunch of different things and being on the Dan Sliff show. But I wanted to go through the Cowboys salary cap. Now, here's why I'm going to say we can get money to do anything we want to. Now, I was listening to some of Bobby Belt and 105.3 The Fan, and they were saying that the Cowboys are a bad team, and you don't make a trade like this if you're a bad team. You want to stockpile your picks. There's a lot that says that. That the advantage of getting a draft pick is you can get a guy in the draft cheap. He really won't cost you anything the first 4 years. That is a true statement. But if you look at, say, paying Quinion, God, see, you guys have messed me up. Quinion Williams, $21 million a year the next 2 years, versus us taking a first-round draft pick and drafting Mozzie Smith. Which of those two options would you rather have? Which of the two? I got killed on the Dan Sliff show, Philly 500, with the crazy eyes and everything else, dressing for a funeral. And it's okay. It's okay that they've counted us out. I'm going to say that it might be that the Cowboys versus the Eagles, that's going to be our Super Bowl for the year. That's the game that we got to circle and say, let's see if we can make them pay. Here's where I say, I think it's not the worst thing in the world. You got guaranteed with that first round pick that isn't until the following year is a guy who can play now. And what you can start doing is looking at this. See, here's the thing I'm going to say, and this is going to sound crazy, but now the NFL offseason, okay, you go through, season ends sometime in January, or if you're lucky, in the middle of February. You got about a month or so to really heal up, get surgeries and things. And at the end of March, you start doing, weight training and coming to the facilities and starting to work out. And then, of course, in April, you start having OTAs, and after that, mini camps and so on. But you don't have as many opportunities that you used to. Mini camps, of course, are just helmets and shorts. Even training camp, you can't tackle. It's not a full go. And a lot of times, when you start the season, the last time some of these guys actually tackled somebody or got hit was the following season. So let's say, right now, you've got Matt Everfuss, and you have to make a decision at the end of the year. Now, you could say hypothetically, Matt Everfuss doesn't have the personnel through the defense. You can't look at it and say, forgive me, I'm getting old, and this time change has messed me up. You can look at the situation right now and say he doesn't really have a lot of talent to work with. Okay, so now you've got a very talented defensive line, and surprisingly, most people don't know this, but Donovan Easy, he only has 2 sacks. I'll give you that. But for the amount of snaps that he has, he's been very effective and deserves to have more time. He's rating out at like a 76. Clowney is beginning to get in shape. You actually got a lot of pressure on the outside. And now you can do some things like a 5-man front where you're going to be able to really stop the run. Now we know our secondary sucks, but the linebackers should be happy as shit. And we're hearing that Overshown, as well as Savon Ravel, let's see if he can help save a season, are trending on being able to play against the Raiders. That's the great news that we have. So the best thing you could do to help Overshown stay healthy is putting a Quentin Williams, a Kenny Clark, and Osa Nigazua on that front line, because they're going to keep the guards from getting off and hitting the linebacker. There's no ifs, ands, buts about that. And if you start using Clowney more and he gets to be more effective rotating with Dante Fowler, and you end up with Donovan Easy out there, and as Quentin Williams said, hey, I'll play defensive end if they want me to play defensive end. I'll do whatever it takes to help this team win. And he's excited about doing it. Okay. My thought is this. I know that the season is probably done, that we don't have much of a chance. I've come to realization of that. However, if you can start the process and say, we know Osa's going to be here, we know that Kenny Clark is going to be here, and we know that Quentin Williams is going to be here with Donovan Easy, you can start the process of letting those guys mature together to be able to hit the ground running come training camp and next year. And you can start to get a feel and saying, okay, here's where we're okay, and here's where the cupboard's bare. And start really getting yourself in position to be able to draft better for your needs come the draft in April. As well as start the process of coalescing the players together. That may sound crazy, but it's the truth. One of the biggest problems I believe that the Cowboys have is they have so much turnover on the defense. Not just the coordinator. We're constantly getting rid of that guy. But we're constantly letting go players after players. Just look at a couple of years ago when Van Der Esch went, of course. You had Dante Fowler that went, Dorrance Armstrong that went. You had, cornerback. Oh, shit. We won't call him that. Stephon Gilmore. You had so many players that left from last year. And then this year you end up bringing in, okay, you lost Micah Parsons, but you turn around, you bring Kenneth Murray because you decide not to bring back, Eric Kendricks. And you continue to constantly keep bringing in people. But see, the thing is it takes time to know what each player is doing in a defense. And this will be a good thing going forward. Now, maybe, just maybe, it's still 8 games left for the Cowboys. Maybe they can go 6-2 and end up with 9 wins. Maybe they can go 7-1 if things go well. If the defense turns around between Savon Ravel with Overshown, with Logan Wilson and Quentin Williams, that's 4 guys that you're inputting to change over the defense. Maybe they can play credibly. Okay, maybe you have a chance. Maybe some of these teams will start battling each other and knocking each other back. It could happen, but I'm not counting on it. So I believe that it's actually a good move. If you can get a talented player and you know you're not going to worry about it, the thing that I'm most excited about is at least these guys are locked up as far as their contracts go. At least we don't have to worry about saying in the off season, here we go with Jerry Jones messing around with people's money. But I'll say, the key to all this is making sure you lock down George Pickens. Yeah. So I want to address something with you guys. I don't know how to put this the right way, but I recognize that I am getting old. 60 has been an eye-awakening for me. And I remember when I turned 50, things didn't work the same as they seemed like they did when I was 49. And maybe that's what's going on right now as I've gotten to be 60, that some things are slowing down and doing things differently. But I've noticed, and maybe you guys have too, that I'm having a hard time remembering people, remembering names. I don't know if that is just getting old and forgetful. You know, I remember Bill Cosby used to say, had a joke about to his kids, come here, Flynn, no, Frank, Greg, no, what, just come over here, whatever your name is. If that's what it is, that I'm just getting old and just, you know, slowing down, or if it's something more. I don't know. I know seeing one of my action heroes who's dealing with dementia makes me realize that that could be the same thing as for me. And who knows, in 3 months, 6 months, a year, that could be me. I don't know. Understand, I make mistakes. I mispronounce names. I forget names, and so on. And I hope that you can bear with this old man, because it ain't gonna get no better. Things only get worse from here on out. But I appreciate all of you guys so much. You all mean the world to me. And I appreciate the kind words, the support, and the rivalry with all of you guys. And remember, I always tell people this, and I was saying to Leo yesterday about, I've thought about making a recording to play at my funeral. And one of the things that I always want to tell people is, first of all, don't cry that I'm gone. Be happy that we had time together. And the other thing I would want to say to people is, if you couldn't make time for being around me when I still have my mental faculties and we could make memories, then by all means, you shouldn't be there at my funeral. Life is short and life is precious. And you've got to hold on to not wasting any of your time. And you want to make sure that the people you love know how you feel. I love you guys. And I didn't mean to turn this into whatever this is, but I had to get that off my chest because I've been noticing more and more that I can't remember some names. It's kind of like Kenny Clark. I keep wanting to say Frank Clark. I keep wanting to say Frank Clark, and I know it's Kenny Clark, so I'll just say Clark. Scares the shit out of me. Good night, good people. And I love y'all. Peace out.